Last time on She Rules the Waves we found an alternative inland route and avoided the choppy sea. We found our way to Dronten, where we spent one last night before taking the train to Amsterdam. We went for a boat trip and got served dinner by a robot before boarding the bus back home. Then I went to Norway with Clawfinger and, you guessed it, went on a boat trip, but mostly for work. But now, back to Sedna. Stay tuned. Hi, I'm Linus Jackson, a sailing musician and father of two, trying to get my boat Sedna home to Sweden for a major refit. And in time, I plan to be a full-time liveaboard and world traveler. Join us on this journey. Back to Sedna, and we have about a week this time. Here we are once again, back at Sedna. Ready to leave. Me and my parents plan to leave Dronten this afternoon and get out into the Ketelmeer and as far into the next set of canals as possible before dark. And first up, locking out into the lake. There's two locks before Ketelmeer. The second one is one of those up to sea level ones. And now we're going up into the sea. That's a little weird. It's another windy day on the lakes today, but fortunately we only have two short stretches where we won't be in leeward of the island. The island, by the way, being a giant freshwater well. Check it out on your favorite map app. This is super weird. There's another one on that side. I have no idea what this is. Probably something you can close. If you know what this does, please let us know in the comments. It's opening! We're going down 5 meters this time. Yes, down into the inland. That's just the way it works here. Down 5 meters. That's what happens. The dude in the boat behind us here in the lock said he could help us find a good mooring for the night around Marknesse, so we followed him there. But, as usual, we were too big for all available moorings and had to make do with the no parking dock on the other side of the lock. Marknesse sluice. Closing up. That means we can leave early and drive for a bit tomorrow morning before turning right towards Lemme and the region called Vriesland. Well done. We're on our way again.
Okay.
Cheers and anchor beer.
Cheers.
Good morning and welcome to a lovely day on the canals. Today, it's a rainy day and we move on through Flevoland and look out and in again in Lemmer. And then we'll go through a series of lakes and canals as far as we can get through Vriesland before dark. rainy day like this, I'm really glad I got my coffee machine from my kids and their mother and my birthday present. The weather was not really our friend today, and the Dutch summer can be really fickle. This, our first lock in Friesland, taught us a new system. The lock is manned, and you pay the lockkeeper €5 cash when they swing a wooden clog on a string out to you. That also includes the opening of the following bunch of drawbridges. Yay, weather! Alright, let's go. The first bridge turned out to be a hassle though, because of the heavy side winds, the meetings, and the signal system that didn't really play in our favor. Now we're waiting for this bridge to open. We were too slow, so we didn't get through. There's a little blue sky. And then, when it opened again, the window was too short and we missed it again. We got yelled at by the operator before finally making it through, narrowly avoiding a meeting boat. But despite the nasty weather, the town was really beautiful. I would not mind gliding through here on a sunny day. Once out in the lakes, there's a lot of moorings in the nooks and crannies alongside the fairway, but unfortunately they're all pretty much too shallow for a boat like Sedna. If you want to see more of this area, I recommend checking out the episode of See the Little Things, linked above. This seems to be an old lock that's not in use anymore, so it's just a double lock, so it's a one-way street, so to speak. We contacted a few boat clubs and marinas along the way, and finally we found a place big enough for us to stay the night. And just before arriving there, we saw a fueling station to our starboard side. It was closed, but we'll go there tomorrow and refuel. So, we arrived in Suvalt, a small boat club, a camping site, a cafe, and an electric ferry that helps people cross the canal. But just when we've settled in, I noticed a big problem. This is not good. The oil hose has sprung a leak, and it's just, there's a lot of oil everywhere. I think I have to fix this. Hey people, so we are tied up in Suvalt Marina, and this oil issue could potentially be something way worse than I first thought, because the hose was one thing, I could patch that up and change it, but the oil was pretty gray, which is usually a very bad sign. So I'm going to have to get it out of there and refill some oil and see what happens, but probably there might be a water leak somewhere. I'm gonna talk to Volvo Penta dealership, or Volvo Penta mechanic in Groningen tomorrow, and hopefully we can move on. I spent the rest of the evening emailing with the mechanic and tried to figure out a plan, but first I gotta get some sleep. Sometimes it's like this, then we get that. So we're not really sure what to do here. I spent the morning in the engine room and talking to locals and mechanics all around the area. The engine sounded weird and it seemed to have a compression problem. I cleaned up and drained a little of the oil, patched up the hose, and after a while it did sound better. The mechanic in Groningen wouldn't have time to see me, and the even closer one was on vacation. I talked to a third one, but after some research we realized that our draft is too deep to reach their destination. But the conclusion was that we probably could move on carefully and try again further on along the route. Okay, so we got some conflicting results, but it seems like we are good to go as long as we stay at a low rev. And the engine actually sounds just fine now. So we'll start by going to the fuel station, and then we'll take it from there. Okay, keep your fingers crossed. I forgot to film the departure, but the fueling went well, except for some initial payment problems. We figured we'd stop in Burgum, the next bigger town, because Google Maps told us there is a mechanic just by the water there. Unfortunately, as it often does, Google misled us, and after walking around, climbing some fences and talking to a bunch of confused locals, we moved over to the opposite side of the canal where the sailmaker or possibly the marina behind it could point us in a better direction. Right, we're kind of illegally moored here at a sailmaker's yard. Well, because we can't get into the marina, and we do have to go to the store. We can't keep moving because there's no place to stay. Well, it's a catch-22, basically. So we'll see if we can figure it out. Suddenly, a huge cargo ship came along to pick up a car. Although nerve-wracking for us, the captain obviously knew what they were doing. And now they're just moving away. There's a car in the air. There they go. Close call, to say the least. Okay, so, as you understood by now, we do have an engine issue, but we think we've temporarily fixed it enough for us to keep driving tomorrow. So we will try to do that and just hope that it doesn't get worse. And when I know more about what exactly the problem is, I will do a little routine recording so you can get the information too. But until then, well, I'm just gonna have to chill here. So we decided to stay the night, and we actually got permission from the sailmakers to do so. We then took a walk into town and enjoyed some Vietnamese food and a beer. Thanks for joining us on this roller coaster of a journey. We really appreciate the support. Please give this video a like, say something uplifting in the comments, consider joining us through our Patreon page, and if you haven't already, click the subscribe button and the bell. And maybe tell your friends to do that too. And until next time, take care.